genuinely think that Trisha Paytas could be going to the 2026 Met Gala, and Trisha herself has been teasing it. She literally said on her podcast that someone put her up for consideration.
I do have a lead on maybe an invite to the Met Gala.
That is everything.
Very exciting. Jimmy, bleep out the keywords.
The 2026 Met Gala is already turning into a total disaster, and it's getting attention for all the wrong reasons.
We're saying they put me up for consideration.
Oh my God.
When is it? Well, we'll get to be there because May 5th I have Netflix and May 9th I have my Palm Springs show.
May 4th is the Met Gala, so you're gonna have to pull a Connor story and just fly.
Let's not forget her recent appearance on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, where she literally put it out into the universe that attending the Met Gala is one of her biggest goals of 2026.
Beyonce is set to serve as a co-chair this year, which would normally be a major win for the event. However, things quickly become more complicated, as her ongoing tension with Jay-Z is expected to follow her onto the red carpet. Instead of focusing purely on fashion and art, there's now a heavy layer of personal drama surrounding the night, and insiders are already suggesting it could completely change the atmosphere of the event. Anna Wintour is also reportedly feeling the pressure.
I'm very excited about the exhibition and the carpet and all the wonderful people that are supporting us. Also so thrilled to see what an extraordinary impact it has on the city. There's a deep economic impact that the Met has. It really lasts for well over a week, plus all the tourists that it brings into the city to see the museum. I'm very grateful that it's sort of grown into a global force.
Especially after last year's gala didn't go as planned, she now finds herself having to handle an even bigger storm unfolding behind the scenes.
Is one of the craziest of all time. Plus, here's why I think Anna Wintour and Meryl Streep are going to do something very special on the Met Gala carpet. Now, the theme for this year is actually super interesting. The whole exhibition and theme is about how fashion is art. It's called Fashion is Art. Because there was a whole debate recently in the fashion community about if fashion is actually art or if it's just fashion, not art. So basically, you can expect looks like this where celebrities are encouraged to wear something that's a piece of art. The celebrities are being encouraged to make their outfits and their bodies look like pieces of art. I think this will be challenging for them because it's really encouraging them to not be the center of attention, but let the outfit be the attention piece. Something that makes you stare, and the only objective is don't be boring. I think a prime example is Ariana 2018. She's literally wearing the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, I believe, and
on top of everything, Jeff Bezos has stepped in as the largest donor and is making his influence very clear, signaling that he expects the event to be run his way. The guest list is also turning heads, with major names like the Kardashians expected to attend alongside personalities such as Trisha Paytas, leaving many to question the overall direction of the event. What is meant to be the Met Gala is starting to feel unpredictable, with a mix of guests that could lead to either iconic moments or complete chaos. It's that time of year again, when celebrities come together in bold, extravagant outfits, and the world watches closely for unforgettable highlights and surprise clashes.
Anna will always bring me back. I've known Anna pretty much my whole career. I love her and I will do anything to support her. And also I just thought this was the most glorious gown to wear. It felt really, really special and celestial, and it was easy to wear and it was fun. I really like the braids too. Italo, who did my hair, decided on the braids.
Every year, there's a theme meant to guide the creativity, even though some argue the original purpose as a fundraising event has started to fade into the background. This year's theme, costume art, has people wondering just how far the outfits will be pushed. It brings to mind bold, theatrical styles, almost like something associated with Lady Gaga, where fashion becomes performance and nothing feels restricted. She has to show up, right? Or maybe not. But then again, is this really what people mean by costume art? No disrespect to Gaga, but some of these looks tend to push boundaries in ways that leave audiences confused. That's the part that never fully settles in. One moment, a celebrity appears in a flawless, unforgettable look. And the next, someone else shows up in something that has everyone questioning what the intention even was.
Every year, celebs get ready here, paparazzi takes over the block, and the lobby turns into absolute chaos. Most recently, this is also where the Doshi Met Gala fiasco went down. Last-minute drama, security scrambling, and the internet losing it. Upstairs, though, ultra-private luxury. About 150 rooms, massive marble bathrooms, and some of the largest suites in all of New York City. Rooms usually start around $1,200 a night, but during Fashion Week or Met Gala Week, prices skyrocket. Penthouses go for tens of thousands per night. Quiet luxury upstairs, total circus outside.
The red carpet can shift from perfection to total confusion in seconds, and that unpredictability is a big part of why people stay so locked in every year. A huge factor shaping the entire night is who's actually behind the scenes running the show. The co-chairs aren't just symbolic names. They help set the tone, guide the vision, and make sure the event feels as grand as intended. This year, that responsibility is shared by Beyoncé, Nicole Kidman, Venus Williams, and Anna Wintour, a lineup that immediately stands out. An all-women leadership group feels noticeably different, especially compared to past years where things looked more traditional, and people are already picking up on that shift. It also marks Beyoncé's first Met Gala appearance in 10 years, going back to 2016, so expectations around her look and presence are already extremely high. Nicole Kidman's involvement adds another layer as well, especially after a very public, personal year that has kept attention on her every move.
Yes, I still think Blue Ivy is going to be the exception and she's going to walk the red carpet. There are so many different directions this could go. We could get like mother-daughter, Lion King, garden, jungle inspired looks, which I would love. We could also get a butterfly or flowers blooming type look, which just the thought of Blue Ivy in one of those makes me emotional. Bandy Lee predicted that or hoped that someone would wear one of these. I immediately thought of Blue Ivy. Between the Renaissance film and now her being announced in The Lion King, I really feel like we're watching Blue Ivy bloom. So I'm really into the flowers blooming theme, or maybe butterflies, you know, caterpillar turning into a butterfly moment. If they do go the Lion King route, I just hope it's not, and I trust that it won't be this Kylie Jenner nightmare.
Whenever she shows up, there's an unpredictable energy around her, as if something unexpected could happen at any moment. Now that she's stepping into a leadership role alongside Beyoncé, it only adds more curiosity about how the night will actually unfold. It raises questions about how often these figures are really in contact behind the scenes, or whether everything simply comes together in a carefully managed kind of chaos. Do you think Beyoncé will bring Jay-Z to the Met Gala this year? It feels possible, but the energy around them lately has been hard to ignore. Since he became tied to that lawsuit and Tina Knowles unfollowed him, people have been closely watching the situation and calling it a hot mess express. That kind of tension could easily spill into an event like this, especially with all eyes on them the moment they arrive on the carpet. At the same time, a different conversation is building around Beyoncé and her next move. It looks like she may be preparing to release Act 3 of her Cowboy Carter series, and fans are deep in speculation mode trying to decode every hint. Many believe she could be shifting toward a rock-inspired direction, pointing to clues across her recent posts and past project. There's even a growing theory that the Met Gala itself could become the perfect moment for her to tease, or possibly announce, this next era, especially with how unusually quiet she has been lately.
Protesters are starting to organize. The same group behind this demonstration, targeting Jeff Bezos at his wedding in Venice, is planning a demonstration in New York City timed to the Met Gala. Their aim, they say, is to embarrass Jeff Bezos. The group is called Everyone Hates Elon. They've been highly effective in drawing media attention to their actions against Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Donald Trump. I'm a journalist. I interviewed one of the organizers this week, and she said that, look, while she's enjoyed looking at the Kardashians, following the Met Gala and taking in the fashion, it doesn't feel that fun to her anymore.
It's been 2 years since Cowboy Carter dropped, following Renaissance's Act 1, so the timing now starts to feel almost intentional. Fans with a sharp eye are convinced they've cracked the code, pointing toward a rock and roll direction. Honestly, the way they're connecting every detail starts to feel like a full investigation, almost like how Taylor Swift fans break down every visual clue to predict what comes next. It reaches that wait a second moment, where people start decoding even the smallest details. Some are even comparing it to a Lemonade-style rollout, where every symbol seems to carry a deeper meaning. They point to things like 3 lemons and connect it to the 3rd track on Lemonade, noting its slight rock influence as possible proof of where things are headed. It sounds far-fetched at first, but when you go back and listen, you can kind of see why the theory is gaining traction. There's also talk that Beyoncé might be hinting at a Destiny's Child reunion, which immediately set off discussions online. A reunion would obviously draw massive attention, especially with the 25th anniversary approaching. It's not something she had to acknowledge, so the fact that it's even being mentioned has people wondering if there's a bigger plan in motion. With her, even small gestures tend to be interpreted as meaningful, and fans are watching closely for any sign of a possible comeback moment. At this point, everyone seems to have an opinion on whether Jay-Z will show up or stay out of the spotlight. People are almost placing imaginary bets, debating what feels more likely based on everything happening around them. Some are convinced he'll appear beside her, while others think he might skip it entirely. Either way, the speculation is only adding more attention to an already high-profile night, and it naturally leads into a bigger question about what the Met Gala experience is really like behind all the glamour. From what people say, Everyone ends up staying in the same hotel, and it basically turns into a full takeover. Every floor is filled with staff, glam teams, stylists, tailors, and assistants are all working nonstop behind the scenes. Every room gets turned into a station for something: hair, makeup, fittings, or last-minute adjustments. The entire space becomes a high-pressure zone where everything has to be flawless before anyone even steps outside. It's the Mark Hotel, and people describe it less like a luxury stay and more like a full behind-the-scenes command center. Then there are those moments that stick in people's minds for the wrong reasons. It brings to mind that situation with Doja Cat, when she was very intense about people trying to see her outfit before the big reveal. Not everyone responded well to that, and it sparked a wider conversation about how secretive and tightly controlled the whole process has become. There's this strong obsession with keeping every look hidden until the exact moment it appears on the carpet, and sometimes it creates more tension than excitement. The hotel itself seems to take privacy to another level. Reports suggest there are security guards stationed inside elevators who control movement manually instead of guests pressing buttons. Each celebrity is assigned a number, and staff communicate using those numbers rather than names to keep everything discreet. So instead of saying a name, it's more like, "Number 6 is coming down," which honestly sounds more like a coded operation than a hotel system. There are also lighter, almost surreal moments that show a different side of it. Apparently last year, Charlie XCX ended up behind the concierge desk after returning from the Met Gala, picking up calls and jokingly acting like she was running the place. It created this strange mix of playful and unreal, like someone briefly stepping out of their world just to try on another role. Another report that stood out described what happened when Tyler returned after the Met Gala wearing only half of her sand-inspired dress. The other half had reportedly been cut off and handed to someone else, barely fitting over their arm. It highlights how extreme some of these designs can be, where an outfit isn't always meant to survive the night intact. It may sound dramatic, but it shows how these looks function more like fragile pieces of art than regular clothing. With the amount of time, effort, and money involved, people don't always realize how serious the behind-the-scenes process really is. Many of these outfits are insured for huge amounts, and there are strict protocols for how they're handled and transported. Even getting to the Met Gala itself becomes a full-scale operation. Celebrities can't just walk through crowds or deal with normal street conditions when there are so many cameras, people, and unpredictable moments around them. It would simply be too risky. If a dress involves rare materials or expensive jewelry, no one is willing to take chances with it getting damaged or even photographed too early. Everything is carefully organized so the movement from the Mark Hotel to the event stays as smooth and private as possible. That's why moments like Tyla's dress situation stand out. It disrupts the idea of total control. The center of it all is Anna Wintour, who has long treated the Met Gala as her signature event. While her influence in fashion has evolved over time, this is still the space where she's known for being extremely detail-focused and hands-on. There's a sense that she's trying to bring the event back to its peak, especially after last year didn't quite meet expectations. At the same time, it's hard to ignore the growing presence of Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez as major sponsors. Their involvement adds another layer of power and influence to an already complex event, making the entire situation feel even more layered behind the scenes. It seems likely they'll have their moment on the red carpet regardless of public opinion, and all eyes will be on how they present themselves and the attention they draw. Their presence alone shifts the energy of the night. Now, when it comes to the guest list, it's stacked in a way that feels almost overwhelming. Names like Angela Bassett, Lena Dunham, Lisa, Sam Smith, Sabrina Carpenter, and Zoe Kravitz are all expected, creating a mix of established icons and unpredictable personalities. There's also growing curiosity around Zoe Kravitz, especially with rumors she might appear alongside Harry Styles. She's been hinting at a more rock-inspired aesthetic lately, and if they arrive together, it would likely spark immediate reactions and speculation. At the same time, there are whispers that the engagement talk around them might not be entirely real, possibly more about attention than anything serious, which only adds to the intrigue. The list doesn't stop there. Emma Chamberlain, Cara Delevingne, Ashley Graham, Lala Anthony, Addison Rae, and Hathaway, Alicia Keys, Bad Bunny, Billie Eilish, Cardi B, Camila Cabello, Doja Cat, Dove Cameron, Dua Lipa, Elle Fanning, Emma Stone, Gigi Hadid, Hailey Bieber, Hunter Schafer, Jacob Elordi, Julia Garner, Kelly Rowland, Kendall Jenner, Kim Kardashian, Kylie Jenner, Nick Jonas, Naomi Campbell, Miley Cyrus, Lizzo, Lewis Hamilton, and many more are all part of the conversation. That combination alone feels like it could generate non-stop headlines, especially imagining moments like Lewis Hamilton and Kim Kardashian crossing paths on the carpet, pairings that instantly grab attention. Lady Gaga, Lana Del Rey, Priyanka Chopra, Robert Pattinson, Rosalia, Sarah Jessica Parker, Sydney Sweeney, and others only add to the scale of it all. And Lana Del Rey's presence, in particular, is a big deal for many fans. She consistently brings a very specific moody aesthetic that either completely lands or sparks debate for days afterward.